I try to ignore the news. I get bombarded with it, but I try to ignore it. This morning, it hit me full in the face. So many things that are going on. I mean, things that nobody is talking about that I wish we could talk about. And that bothers me. I was on stage Saturday night in front of a sold-out audience, and I made a comment about being a conspiracy theorist, and the place just went nuts. I mean, just exploded, erupted. And I didn't expect that. I just made the comment about being, I guess I'm a conspiracy theorist, and everybody, I said, I guess I found my cult here. This place just went nuts there in Cleveland, Texas. And I started thinking about that. How many people feel like they're being left in the dark by the mainstream media? They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about Epstein's list. They don't want to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. We don't want to talk about the 2020 election. We don't want to talk about January 6th. There's so many things that just get buried under the rug. What actually happened with Paul Pelosi? So many things where you just leave a big gap, and we just kind of have to fill in the blanks, and that's where the conspiracy theories come. But then I get hit in the face with the stuff that they're talking about that I don't want to talk about, Brandon. Like, I don't want to talk about transgenderism. I don't want to have to talk about that. And I know that there are those who say it's gotten to a point where we're talking about this too much and maybe giving it too much attention. And I want to go back and just remind you guys on a Monday, which is something we should not have to be talking about. We should not, like, if we're in here talking about sex or sexuality, we should be joking about it. Like, that's really what we should be doing on this show. We should be having a good time joking about any topic under the sun. But I don't really want to talk about transgenderism, but I have to. I have to, guys. Because while I don't care what you do to yourself as an adult, I do not care how you live your life. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you don't harm children, and as long as you don't try to cram it down my throat. Well, damn it, you're doing both, and that pisses me off. You're cramming it down my throat to the point where now people are being arrested in Canada for protesting family-friendly drag shows and story hours. We'll talk about that later. We're seeing this being labeled a hate crime for calling this nonsense out. We're being told that you and I, people who have some sense of traditional values, some sense of common sense, okay, that we have to abide by certain rules that are not based in reality anymore. And we actually have to participate in some crazy person's sense of reality. We have to participate in their mental illness, or else there is going to be ramifications that are going to be held against you. Consequences. They're going to lower the boom on you. The gavel is going to drop. So I saw this. I did see this because my girlfriend, who is very astute when it comes to this topic, and she's very outspoken on it, she shared these videos where this is in Britain, right? These videos are from Britain. For those of you who say that these drag shows are not targeting children in a sexually explicit way, but rather it just exposes children to different lifestyles so that they thereby become more accepting and inclusive, you're full of shit, okay? Let me just bottom line it for you. You are out of touch. Now, I saw some of these clips over the weekend, and this is the same moves that you would expect to see if you walked in and saw Cinnamon or Destiny dancing on the pole on the main stage. And they're doing it in front of a room full of children. Now, the thing that drives me crazy is these are children sitting in their mother's laps. These are mothers that are encouraging their children to participate in watching this and this behavior. And I'm going, where are we as a society where this is in any way okay? Now, you say that's Britain. Well, I don't know if you know your cultural history or not, But what happens in Europe tends to find its way here to America very fast. Now, we're already doing it. We're already seeing the drag shows that are advertised as family friendly. We've already shown you the footage. Our very own Sarah Gonzalez has shown you the stuff that she's exposed. Taylor Hanson has done the same. We're no stranger to these images, but the level of sexuality on display in these video clips is highly disturbing. Highly disturbing. Now, we've already seen some bad stuff, but this was horrible. And I couldn't find myself, guys. I could not find myself to share it on my social media platforms. There were times I wanted to do it, and I just said, I can't do it. Just can't do it. I cannot give any credence to this. I can't be showing this off. But then I got up this morning. And I read the headline, New York Post, that said, USA Powerlifting to allow trans athletes to compete with women after losing a suit. So this person that you see the picture of here, JayCee Cooper, won a discrimination case against USA Powerlifting. The federation was mandated to cease and desist from all unfair discriminatory practices, all right, related to sexual orientation and gender identity, and reverse its former policy of barring transgender athletes within 2 weeks. They had to do this. So this organization doesn't have the power to enforce their traditional rules anymore about who can compete in their organization. Now the courts are saying, no, this is going to be defamation. This is going to be discriminatory practices, and you got to change your rules. Yes, we know you've always had those rules in place. You were always very clear about who could compete in women's powerlifting. But no, you can't do that, the courts have said. Cooper, who is a biological male, identifies as a female, said, I was fed up with the way that I was being treated. I was fed up with the way that my community was being treated, and enough was enough. Okay, asshole. So here's my thing. I'm fed up with how I'm being treated. I'm fed up with how my community is being treated. I am fed up with having to put up with this kind of garbage. I am fed up with how women are being treated. I am fed up with people like you who are engaging in what I believe the hate crime of woman face and pretending to be something you're not in order to get some sort of a reward, award, trophy, pat on the back, recommendation, recognition, approval by being something you're not. You're not competing amongst your equals. You're not. And you're doing a masquerade. And anybody that calls you out for this facetiousness is being labeled discriminatory and a hate-filled group.